Well, g'day folks, my name's Ashley and it's been a while since I've done any videos on any flight sims. I was doing X-Plane 11 before, but I only just upgraded to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on the Xbox X series because I didn't want to upgrade my PC. However, I have installed the Parafield Airport from the marketplace, and the reason being this is actually where I did majority of my flight training in Australia. It's here in Parafield, just north of Adelaide. It's about 11 miles north of Adelaide Airport. And as you can see, they've actually done a really, really good job with this. They've got what was at the time the Australian Aviation College, just in this area here. That's all accommodation for all of the flight students. Their hangar here, they had obviously the hangar, also simulators, offices for the instructors to do ground instruction. And the front here, they had all the classrooms, and it looks like they've actually built an additional classroom facility here. That was the administration building. Accommodation for airline guests, airline employees that were there to negotiate contracts for their flight training, because it is primarily for airline pilot cadets. And yeah, this is all accommodation for all of their students. It's really, really well done, this airport. And it hasn't changed much since I was there back in the mid-90s. I'll just go down and take a quick look at it. And the only thing that's changed really since then is the additional accommodation that's been built at I think it's Flight Training Academy now, Flight Training Australia. And the fuel farm here has moved. It was actually located over here before, self-serve. It looks a lot better now. So what we had here in the past, they used to have a fleet of Grob G115s, and they'd park them around here. That's what you started on. Over here, they parked all the Tobagos, the TB10s, and the Duchess aircraft used to be parked over here. I loved flying the Duchess. It's probably my favourite light twin I've ever flown. I've got about 150, 160 hours on the Duchess. I love it. It's an old bird, but I love flying it. The Tobago was also a great aircraft to fly and train on. Excellent. Tobago had a tour airspeed of 120 knots, so it was perfect for learning to navigate. So, this obviously the hangar. They did have a library here as well. And keep in mind, when I was there, this is pre-internet days, so they had libraries and stuff. Now you can do it all online. But they've done a great job here. So this building, that must be additional classrooms. That wasn't there when I was there. And this is the canteen, or the mess hall, they call it. Obviously the swimming pool, spent many hours in that swimming pool. I never played tennis, but that was there when I was there. And this was the unit I initially lived in. It's called Allendale. That's my room right there on the corner. Yeah, so there's all different accommodations. They expanded when I was there. We played basketball here a few times. And my second time around here, I was living in this one, Unit 10, and I was in that back room there. But yeah, it's done really well. So like these buildings here, like this would be one unit here. There's another unit there. It's essentially 4 units. And you'd walk in, it's like a central area. And they were nice, you know. But yeah, it's a full-on course. It's in Australia, it's not called a Part 141 school, but it's the equivalent of a Part 141 school. And it's primarily students for airlines from around the world. So Cathay Pacific had a lot going through there at one stage. Malaysian Airlines, Mapati from Indonesia. Korean Air had quite a few students as well when I was there. And so I graduated here in 11 months. It was a 10-month course, and I did it in 11. And it was full-on. I was with a bunch of guys from Mapati in Indonesia and 4 guys from Air Niugini. And it was really, really good. The only other thing I can see that's changed is at the entrance here to the airport. It used to be a bottle shop there on the corner, and I imagine they did a lot of business here. But it looks like it's an ambulance place now or something like that. Of course, there's various flight schools around here. But they've done a really good job modelling this. Excellent job. It didn't have anything to do with any of these other places. They were all various flight schools, maintenance facilities and whatnot. That one used to be called Bruce Hartwick, and I always thought it was a funny name. So I always thought they were really ugly hangars, these curved roofs, but yeah, that's the way they actually are. It used to be Bruce Hartwick, so I don't know if it is anymore. And there was another flight school there. But yeah, done a great job modelling the tower as well, with all the parking behind it. And that's exactly how it looks. All the linings, the markings on the ground, it's all correct. It's great. I think it's closed now, but there used to be a bar under there, inside there, and we'd go and hang out there a lot. That pool table, and there was the pinball machine and stuff in there, but I believe it's out of business now. There used to be an aircraft that would park here all the time, and I kid you not, the registration was Romeo, Romeo, Romeo. So obviously ATC made fun with that often when they'd come inbound. That park bench was actually there. I used to sit on that a lot on days that I wasn't flying. I'd have a VHF transceiver with a friend of mine, Fred. We'd hang out there and just watch his aircraft come and go, listen to the radio calls on the transceiver. And what else is there? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't remember which company was in this one. But this was the Australian Aviation College, that's what it was called at the time when I was there. Now, one thing they actually did get correct was the stairwell is actually there on the side of the building, and one of the instructors, Kev Merrigan, oh gosh, he was a heavy smoker. He used to always hang out by those stairs there. And I think they put a plaque on the wall there in his honour. He's since passed away, but I had him as an instructor on the Cap 10 to do low-level patterns or circuits at Parafield. And he was a former military guy. He flew F4s in Vietnam and stuff. So man, he was full on. Raise the tail, raise the tail. And then he'd be yelling at you, but then you'd pull it off, and he's like, "Oh, that was good." And so it occurred to me somewhere around about here, turning crosswind, doing low-level patterns with Kev Merrigan, that it's like, oh, that's just his method of instructing. He'd yell at you. You're like, you did something wrong, but then he'd be like, no, that was good. It was a learning experience. This is the University of South Australia hangar there. I imagine they're still there. And at the time, over here, there was a bunch of helicopter stuff over here. I don't know which one was which, but that used to be the Hughes 500, a helicopter, Hughes 300, fly around here. Yeah, it's a really good model done here. I imagine those buildings are there now. They weren't there before, because they used to do a lot of auto rotation training around here. So, change things. I don't think that helipad was sealed back then. I guess they've got puddles of water, large pools of water there, but that's a strange thing to put at an airport, because that attracts bird life. So I guess it's there. I haven't checked Google to see if it's actually there. It just seems like an unusual thing to put there. There was another thing that has changed, is the additional runway for runway 26. At the time, it was 26 only, not 26 left and right. Where it says 26 left, you can see the further one that's further away, that wasn't there before. 26, what is now 26 right, that was always there, but it wasn't used very often just because of the typical winds. And you got obviously the parallel runways, 2103, left and right, and it's a great setup here. Like, most of the traffic patterns or circuits were done on 2-1 left, so you take off, crosswind, downwind, crosswind, base, and then final. At night, all the patterns were done on 2-1 right, only because of the Adelaide Hills here. Because they didn't want you flying at night over these hills, because it's, the terrain rises a little bit. Actually, in the evening, the air would cool and come rushing down the hill, and so you get a bit of a crosswind here as well. So that was always interesting. We learn about stuff in meteorology, and then we'd go out and we'd actually see it in action. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Because of where the runway is, and you got this road here. It was, that's an accurate depiction of the road. And so you'd come in. So you're coming in on final. You're somewhere like here. And Adelaide gets very hot. And so you get a lot of heat rising. And this was the road that you're coming in a final. You'd see the road, and then you'd actually feel it. You'd like, boom. Well, not that much, but you'd feel the thermal coming off the road, and it pushes you up. And that was my first time experiencing that in real life. And it's a very real thing. All the heat coming off roads and things like that, especially when they're close to the threshold like that. That was notorious for pushing you back up. Not a lot, but you definitely feel it. So it was. That's where I first experienced that there. What else is there? You got Adelaide. It's 11 miles that way. You can barely make out the city of Adelaide down there. The airport was, I think, somewhere around there, something like that. It was essentially a straight line, 11 nautical miles. The dam wall, where you go outbound, I want to say it's somewhere over there. And you can check a VTC or a visual terminal chart for that information. I'll leave a link in the description for you to download these free aviation charts from Australia. It is, you can just type in ashleywindsor.com/free charts, and that'll take you to the link. It's an Air Services Australia link, and it's got some sort of weird address. And it'll take you to a page where you can just click on that you agree, and it'll then take you to the latest charts. Now, this is the sewerage farm for all of Adelaide. And this is an area you flew over going outbound. And there was a spot, I want to say, it might be that one there, or it might be that. I don't know, but in real life you can tell it's actually a strobe light. It's very bright. You can see clearly in the daytime as well, obviously at night. And it's called Bolivar strobe. And the point of it was you'd use it as a means to say you'd stay either north or south of it. I have a feeling when you were going outbound, you'd stay this side of it, going outbound, because this area over here is outer harbour. There's a suburb of Adelaide, and there's also some ports there leading out to the ocean. And you'd come inbound at 1,000 feet over outer harbour. That's when you call a tower. It's like, hey, Parafield Tower, Alpha Bravo Charlie, outer harbour, 1,000 feet inbound, received information, echo. And then they'd say, hey, yeah, you can come in. But I don't remember, I think when you're coming inbound, you'd stay south of the Bolivar strobe, and then going outbound, you'd stay north of it. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I was here in 1993. But you go outbound along this way, and out that way to the training area was out that way. So I spent many times around this area. And also they do aerobatics right up here in this whole area, pretty much over the poo farm, over the sewage farm. So that's the Werribee of Adelaide was right near Parafield Airport for those who live in Melbourne, because I'm originally from Melbourne. So, but I did all my flight training here in Adelaide, or a majority of it. Yep. Look there. Ugh. All right, what else is there? Oh, there was also an intersection somewhere down here. I think it's about there. Looks like it might be Jepp's Cross. That used to be a reporting point coming inbound. I think that's it there. It's kind of a weird intersection. But I have a feeling they've changed it to something else now. I need to check the VTC chart. But it used to be Jepp's Cross. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, obviously the train line is down there. You can see the train line. So there was a train station for all those guys that did not have a car, which most guys flight training here, they were from overseas. They didn't have a car. So it was interesting because the train station was right on the edge here. It was convenient. This is the suburb, I think it's Parafield Gardens, going by memory. The train station was down here. Yep. Just down here. And they have some weird obscure times, like it'd be 5:37 and all this sort of weird times. And you go, nah, you get there at like 5:34, like that train's not going to get here at 5:37. I kid you not, it didn't no matter what weird time it was on the timetable, the train got there on time. Every single time. It was the weirdest thing, because I was from Melbourne, I wasn't used to that. I was not used to the trains being actually on time, what the timetable said. And they were always on time. So obviously you take the train into the city in that direction, And if you wanted to go to Salisbury or Elizabeth, which is the nearest shopping centres essentially, you just go that way. So Salisbury was the closest, and Elizabeth was the end of the train line. I never really had much time to go up there. I tell you now, Part 141 studying and flight training, it's full on. But I just wanted to show you this airport and the plug-in. So it is payware for the airport. Even the default airport's pretty good, but this is really well done. So I was really impressed with this, with the effort that they've made. And installing the Parafield on the Xbox X series, I have not had any issues with it. Adelaide, on the other hand, I have installed that one. I have a feeling that might have been contributing to my Xbox crashing, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they've done a wonderful job. So I'll be doing a lot of flights in the future, VFR flights out of here, out to Renmark, Waikerie, Loxton, Port Pirie, all those other places. And also I'll do a lot of flights, VFR flights in the US as well. Actually, currently where I'm based, where I've been based for many years now. But yeah, I was really impressed. I just wanted to show you this Parafield Airport, and it's done really well. So if you want to get airport plugins for Australia, I recommend this one, Parafield. I'm waiting for Moorabbin. Moorabbin itself is a bit of a dog's breakfast of an airport, just looking at it from the air. I think it's probably one of the worst airports I've flown out of. Parafield's one of the better ones in Australia that I've ever flown out of, and I've only flown out of a few of them. My favourite in all of Australia is Coldstream Airport, YCEM, Charlie Echo Mike. I'm hoping someone does that one day. That's a great airport. I'd love flying out that one in real life, because that's the area I actually grew up in, around that area. Not so much Coldstream, but actually Lilydale, Moorabuk, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, yeah, Parafield Airport, excellent job. Even the Adelaide Hills look really good there. That's excellent. The only thing I think it might be missing from the actual Adelaide Hills and Mount Lofty is the actual TV towers, because the TV towers on Mount Lofty are actually a trap for VFR pilots going from Adelaide direct to Tailem Bend. And the path from Adelaide to Tailem Bend takes you directly over the highest point of Mount Lofty, which is where the TV antennas were. And I don't think they've put the TV antennas on in this flight sim. But anyway, yeah, take a look at it. If you like it, definitely buy it. I highly recommend it. This is great. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you later. Bye.